It's not just the warm summer air that welcomes us to Martha's Vineyard. It's also the rainbow of color that surrounds us at every corner.
Colors are phenomenal.
From the orange orb of the Eggertown sunrise and the burst of blue hydrangeas nodding in the ocean air, color is woven into this island story.
Everything is fresh and blooming and looks beautiful, like a kaleidoscope of color.
Tucked into the heart of Oak Bluffs is a village, the campground cottages, each painted like a box of seaside sweets.
So what are these houses called?
These are called gingerbread houses because of the ornate scrolling woodwork that's on them.
Pops of Pepto Pink, lemon yellow, and summer sky blue. Here, there are more than 300 homes, and no two are alike.
Each house has its own name and its own character.
What began in the 1800s as a summertime Methodist campground dotted with simple canvas tents blossomed into a village of whimsical wooden homes, now run by the Martha's Vineyard Camp Meeting Association.
Eventually, they decided that the tents were not as good as they would like. They'd like to have something more comfortable.
And a permanent community was born.
This home was the first converted from a tent into a cottage.
And as visitors stroll the winding paths, there's a quiet sense that time has slowed, and the sounds of conversation drift through the air like a summer breeze.
People sit on the porches, and it's called porch sitting or visiting in the summertime. It could take somebody literally an hour to walk 3 houses down because people stop you and say, "Hey, Joe, how are you? How's Mary? How's it going?" It's part of what creates such a wonderful sense of community.
Beyond the cottages, porch life gives way to open fields, and color takes root in an entirely different way at Morning Glory Farm in Eggertown.
And so you get to see the red tomatoes out of the greenhouses. You get to see the stripes of color along the field. I think we grow 14 varieties of lettuce.
Here, color comes to life in every corner, from the soil to the farm stand to the blooms in your hand.
Take a look at this. Fresh strawberries, picking one right off the vine. Delish.
Started in the 1970s by the Athern family, the farm began as a humble plot.
My parents, Jim and Debbie Athern, started this farm as a vegetable farm. Me, my brother and sister all kind of washed back home to the farm, and now we're all integral to it.
Today, it's grown into a beloved island institution, still run by the same family, with island roots as deep as the vegetables they grow.
My father's side goes back, I'd be the 11th generation here since Simon Athern in 1640.
The farm stand hums with the energy of summer, crates overflowing with emerald lettuce and plump radishes.
So what's better than fresh veggies in the summer?
Oh, the people you gather with to eat them. I mean, food brings people together.
Tucked a few miles away down a winding back road is Morning Glory's flower farm, a world that's bursting with petals.
We grow just about everything you can grow that's an annual in New England.
Robin Athern runs the operation and guided me through the fields to pick the perfect flowers.
As soon as I get out of the house and out here, I feel like my blood pressure goes way down.
Crafting a bouquet, which the family sells at the farm stand, takes some trial and error.
Sometimes people like to go in a line. We usually do 3 to 5.
Mine doesn't look quite as good as yours.
But whether it's wild and unruly or delicate and composed, each arrangement tells a story of the land, the season, and the joy of building beauty stem by stem. I traded my farm shoes for an airbrush and headed down island to meet the owner of Island Spray at Noman's in Oak Bluffs, where the colorful journey continues.
Do you want any orange in there? I remember you said it's one of your fave colors.
With a steady hand and a spray of paint, Jonah Miller transforms hats, shirts, and bags into bold custom pieces that turn heads from OB to Menemsha.
With Island Spray, my whole thing is just like, if you can dream it, I will try to spray it up for you.
Then it was my turn to learn the ropes.
So, go down, press back.
Yeah, you're a natural.
Thank you. I'm ready.
After a whole lot of practice and with some extra help, I was ready for my hat.
The pressure is on.
No pressure.
I've never done this before. I'm trying my best.
I'm leaving with something uniquely Vineyard, my very own Channel 5 hat.
That looks great. That looks great. Whoa, nice, Shayna. Excellent. Good job.
Chronicle on the Vineyard.
And if you happen to be on the Vineyard in late June, Morning Glory Farm does a vegetable tour, actually, to show everybody how they make veggies for the island. It's free of charge.
And veggies are absolutely the star of the show at Morning Glory, but you cannot go in there without trying their homemade peanut butter. Maria Stefano's put me onto it, and it is like nothing else I have ever tried in the peanut butter form.
Okay, that's a ringing endorsement.